Okay guys, here we are again. Now that I've got the door situation sorted out, I decided that I'm going to do something else. I promised the other day that I would give you a demonstration of the sound system and the touchscreen that I put in my 95 Ford Mustang GT. I did do a recording of that, but I found that I had afterwards when I reviewed it, that I had found that I had my camera on narrow field of view, which meant a lot of times I wasn't pointing the camera on the subject that I was discussing. So I thought I would try to do that again, and this time do a little better job. So I bought the 95 Mustang GT into the garage, and as you can see right there, she's a little bit of a chilly morning out there this morning. We got some frost. Started out as what we call ice fog here in Calgary, which is not really freezing rain. It's just heavy fog or dew that's falling, and it's at a temperature where it's frozen. It almost looks like very, very small snowflakes. It caused quite an visual effect, because the sun was shining this morning, and this stuff was falling, so it was sparkling through the air everywhere. You would swear that you were in some kind of enchanted world with some kind of a really cool looking atmospheric condition going on. And I guess if you think about it, we are in a cool world with a lot of really cool effects that occur sometimes from our weather. I wanted to get that on camera, but at that point I had just gotten out, was just moving around, and didn't really feel like going that distance. So unfortunately the sun is shining good now, and the fog, there's not enough of it there now to see it actually. So without further ado, we won't worry too much about that anymore. What we're going to do is we're going to step inside this beast here after a couple of minutes. When I get her warmed up some, I just turn the heat back up here. We're going to let her heat up nice, because inside of the car, even though the garage is warm, the inside of the car is going to be a little chilly. That's okay though. I can put my coat on and sit in there. But I will give it a couple of minutes. I'm going to have a little bit of a coffee break there, and we're going to come back, and without further ado, boom, going to get at it. So it's been a couple, 3 or 4 minutes. Not even 5 minutes yet, and as you can see, the frost is starting to melt already. Doesn't take long for that frost to melt, especially since that heater right up there is just kind of blowing the air right down on the car. So I'm going to jump in here and see what it's like temperature wise inside the car. This car is all leather inside. That means pretty much every surface you touch in there is a little cool to the touch, but I'm just being a wimp. Oh yeah, it's about 10 degrees cooler inside the car here. So what I'm going to do, first off, I showed you the fancy little, actually the other day I showed you the fancy little cup holder here in this car, but I guess I didn't show you the video, so I'll introduce you to that now. This is my console right here, and in the console, we open this up. What do we have? We have this thing that says pull. We pull on this little unit. That's normally screwed down. I must have taken the screw out for whatever. Close that. Now we have a cup holder. So I'm going to throw my nice warm coffee in here. Yeah, that's right, warm. It's not hot. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you guys as much as I can about this unit right here. This is the sound system that I put in the car. Well, a piece of it anyway. It's not all of the sound system. There's a little more to it than just that part right there. There's that, and then there's two Alpine two-way speakers, 6x9 speakers that I put into the door panels. I took the original speakers out. One was busted, I think. The other one was okay. And they went right in here. So you have to take the whole door panel off to get into this. But there's a 6x9 in behind here now, and on the other side as well. You might be able to see the honeycomb in that one over there a little bit. I'll get my phone out here and give you a little more light in a second. First off, this car does have a key, whereas the original one doesn't. And of course the key goes backwards for accessory like that. When you do that, you get some light on our unit here. And I get this nice little message. It looks like crap, of course, but that's what they do. They want to make sure you're not going to use this while you're driving and endanger anybody, so they will always want to pop up that warning every time you turn that on. And that can't be removed. Maybe there's some kind of a hack I could find on YouTube or something that tell me how to take that off of there, but it wouldn't be an easy process. You know, it's going to be something that's going to require some research and quite a bit of work. But anyway, nevertheless, there's where the door speaker goes on that side. It's the same on the other side. It's got a little bit of a honeycomb pattern on it. So like I said, there's a couple of 6x9s in there. And then in the back we have a big subwoofer in a box, just sitting in the trunk. It's hooked up, of course, it works. Pumps out a lot of bass. Pumps out enough bass that you feel it in your chest. If you set it up right, you can actually feel it really good. I mean, sometimes it kind of freaks me out. Right now I've got the bass turned down a little bit because it's a little overkill for me, I think. Then there's also a booster, and I'm not sure, I think it's like a 500 or 600 watt booster. Nothing real crazy, you know, but I mean, it's enough that it's better than what was in here. I took out the original Ford booster that I think was probably 40 or 60 watts or something like that, which wasn't much. I mean, the sound system was okay in here, but the sound system I have in here now is much better. So the sound system is all controlled directly, pardon me, from this unit right here, what you're looking at. I actually, when I put this in, I had to do a few things to get it to fit. One of the things I had to do, I'm not sure if you guys got enough light or not. I'm going to go with that and hope that you do. We'll check it after. But anyway, one of the things I had to do was this plastic rim. It goes all the way down here. It goes across here and up here. I actually had a bar right across the middle. And the reason that it had the bar across the middle was because this was there were 3 units in the stack on this console. One was which has to stay there, which is still there. I have to give you some light for that. Is the controls for the heater, which you see down here. That's the controls for the heater. That's not their original position. That's why they're not sitting in there very well. I didn't completely reinstall that. That's where it's going to go. But initially it was I believe the middle stack. What we had was an AM/FM cassette player on the top, and then we had these heater controls in the middle. And then down here we had a CD player. Now I still have the AM/FM cassette deck, and I still have the CD player. And I put those away. They're original to the car, so I kept those. This plastic piece here, black plastic piece, can easily be replaced. They're a dime a dozen. Go on the internet. You can find them anywhere. You won't get these parts from Ford anymore. They're discontinued, but you can go to the aftermarket and find lots of that stuff. So this actually was a 3-step system. What I mean by that is that, let's see if we can get a light here somewhere first off. It'll help us see. I don't have to hold on to it. I can work with 2 hands. I got to talk with one hand, and I got to use the camera in the other hand. Let's try that. So this was a 3-step system. This is stepped all the way in. The unit where where this heater control was before, I moved it. This used to be, like I said, the CD. But this unit was the next step up, and it stepped in half the distance that did from this outer surface. This outer surface, the AM/FM cassette sit in the top, and then it went down about this far, and the bar goes across, and then it stepped in, and then in that center step-in section was the heater controls, and then down at the bottom was the CD player. So yeah, like I said, I had to remove the bar. The CD player's gone, the AM/FM cassette radio's gone, and we replaced it. We were able to make enough room to fit this in by taking all that stuff out. And then of course I wanted to make sure that once this unit was sitting in here, that I had some form of I had to have some form of trim to make it look better, because otherwise it just didn't set right in the hole. The hole that was there, once I cut the bar out, wasn't quite the right size. It was big enough for this to fit in, but it wasn't adequate to look finished, trimmed when I was done. So I had to build myself a piece of trim. So what I did was I cut myself out a piece of metal right here out of something I had laying around. I don't know what it was now, but I measured a piece of metal off of something, and made it wide enough to fit this piece of plastic trim that was originally there, so I could bolt it on with those nice little silver screws you see there. They're not chrome, they're just, I don't know what they are, but they look like chrome. But anyway, I bolted it onto the plastic. That's just plastic sitting in behind. So they were self-threading machine screws, I guess is what they're called. And by drilling a fairly small hole into the plastic, I was able to use that self-threading properties of these screws to screw into the plastic to help hold that outer rim that you see on there, this piece. Now, the metal itself didn't look all that great. I painted it black, and I thought, well, you know what would look better there would be if I had some leather upholstery of some sort over top of the metal. So somewhere, I don't remember exactly where, I found this this leather piece here, black leather, and I wrapped that piece and then bolted it onto the original plastic trim. And then of course I had the hole already pre-cut the proper size for the unit to fit into it. This trim ring here is supposed to be on here as well. It doesn't fit that great. I could probably ream that out a little bit with something so that it would fit on there better. I think what it is, there's tabs in the back that need to slide into the hole that I've cut in this, and they're a little bit big. I could actually machine this piece here a little bit with a file or something so that those tabs fit in and lock into place. There's lots I could do there to make it work. But let's not ramble on too much about that part. I want to go through the screens on the unit and show you what each what options I have on the unit itself. So the first thing is we've got to get rid of this. So we just click OK, and then we're presented with a menu. What they would call it is a menu. And in the menu we have our radio. The radio is always there. So right now the radio will function if I push this. That'll bring up the radio. With this I can scroll through these various different presets that I have here. It is a touch screen. I have the volume turned down right now because of copyright issues on YouTube. I don't want any music on this video because they'll flag it, and I'll have to either remove it or I'll have to not monetize it. So yeah, you can go through your presets, various different channels. This unit right here says BSM. I don't know what that stands for, but what that does, it scans through the channels and finds those that actually are within range to receive any signal. And it'll go through and it'll preset the channels automatically for me. Now I've got automatic presets on the AM station. So if I want to, I can also go here, and this gives me, come on, I thought that was supposed to give me FM. There we go. A little sensitive, or not sensitive enough or something, I guess. But now I've got all, press this again, it'll give me all my presets for my FM station. So we do this, and boom, there we go. Now we've got AM and FM stations all set up. This actually is active here, where it'll come up and tell you what station you're on. Usually tells you what song is playing, tells you what says Hope is something or other. It'll probably tell me who does the song. By Crave. It says the song is by Crave. It just gives you feedback as to what's going on there, visual feedback. I don't really pay attention to that when I'm driving unless I'm stopped somewhere and all of a sudden the song comes on. I was like, oh, what's that? And I'll watch this and I'll find out who's singing the song, what the song is, and that kind of stuff. There's a few other things on here too. Right now they're saying no data provided. Sometimes that can happen. I don't know exactly what they are. I don't pay too much attention to them, really, in most cases. This one here is not. This is probably just telling me that it's being broadcast by satellite. It looks like other unit beside it. I'm not sure. I can't quite make out what that is. I was looking at this thing down at the bottom down here too. I'm going to have to check this out. It says local. It shows 4 bars, and I'm not sure what that's about. If I click that, those bars all get highlighted one by one. I don't know what the heck that is. Anyway, we won't worry too much about it. That's the general overview of the radio. I will, anytime you want to get out of the screen that you have here, if you don't have an X in the corner to click out of it, you go click your home button down here. Click that home button, takes you right out, and now you're back to your main menu. Now here's the clock at the top, obviously. You got your calendar, your days and stuff. You can click on the clock at the top. That'll let you change your calendar, whatever. If your date's not right, you want to set your date. In this case, this is saying January 2012. It's not 2012. Let's put this up to 2016. There we go, 2016. Let's set it to November. And the date is, what is the date? Where's my trusty little cell phone here? The date is the 22nd. So now we'll go here. We'll set this to the 22nd. Oops. So we got 22nd November 2016, and the time is 11:23. So we will set this. Got 11:23 a.m. So there you go, guys. Now you just click the X up here, or the home button. I'll click the X. Boom. Now we got 11:23. It's Tuesday, and everything is set as it should be. I don't see that it displays the date anywhere on here, but I'm sure it must be on there somewhere, or I wouldn't be able to set it. Now here in this corner here, we have a little icon that'll show us that we can click. If it's set up, you can click this, and it'll give you your backup camera. I don't have a backup camera attached, but if I did, I could click this button, and then the backup camera would come on, and it would show me what we have in the back. At some point I may put one in it, but right now I don't have one. We have iPod. This works when the phone is plugged in. This doesn't connect to the phone via Bluetooth. It needs to be, it's a hardwired connection. It works with the iPhone. It works also with what's the other one called? Like the Windows phones and stuff like that too. Androids, it work with those too. But I have an iPhone. So anyway, unless the phone's plugged in, this is not going to work. Same with the apps. If the phone's not plugged in, it's not going to work. Same with Pandora. I believe Pandora is a music subscription that you can pay for, and you can have unlimited access to music through this. Apps, you can install apps. I had an app installed in this one time. It was a performance app for measuring different performance aspects of the vehicle. I removed it because the phone was getting full. Remember now, all the apps are on the phone. This just plugs into the phone, pulls the apps in, and reads from the phone. So the phone was getting full. I removed that app. I still have it. I can get it back, but right now I've got it removed. And of course, you get your phone. Your phone is always there. I don't know why. You would think it wouldn't be there if it wasn't plugged in. Obviously, there's nothing because the phone's not plugged in. All of these are grayed out. I can't do anything except for configuration. It does give me an option to do some configuration. Various different things that I can do there. I'm not going to mess around with that right now because I think that's already set for the phone to work. Right now it says no service. Actually, this looks like Bluetooth right here. Top left-hand corner, that looks like Bluetooth. I just said there was no Bluetooth. Maybe I'm wrong. I might have to go back and experiment and see if I can figure that out, because if I have Bluetooth, that would be awesome. But anyway, so that's all there is for the phone right now. You can actually answer the phone just by touching the screen. It's not completely hands-off, but there is a microphone that we have for it that plugs into the back of the radio, and of course a long cable on it. You put it wherever you want. I just got it tucked in behind the sun visor because that seemed to make the most sense right now, is that if it's up there it can actually pick me up. I've used it before. So there's a little more to this menu. You slide over here. Now you have the option to choose settings, and then when you go into settings you have quite a few different options here. You got your rear speaker, full, pre-out, subwoofer, system, language, keyboard, English, ever scroll, I'm not sure what that's about, Bluetooth, and of course this is you can also slide down. There's more to the menu. Camera polarity, video signal settings, picture adjustments, mixed sound levels, a little more there yet. We've got clock mode, 12-hour or your standard, or 12-hour or your 24-hour. You can set it that way if you want. Background, let's me set an image for the background on here if I want to. System reset, puts everything back to defaults, and then it shows a connection status. And right now if I go to connection status, what do we got? GPS antenna is okay. That's one thing I forgot to mention. It does have GPS built into it. It does give me it's a navigation system. Actually, it uses a navigation system for the phone, I thought, but then again, now my phone's not connected, and it's showing me I have 3 satellites that are somewhat connected, and I've got 10 satellites that it could use that aren't connected, I think, because it shows red here and it shows yellow there. So it's just 3D positioning, status, back signal low. Not sure a lot of this stuff what it means, but nevertheless, let's go back one. Every time you go into a menu, you can obviously go back one right here, right? So now it says, you know, picture brightness, contrast, color, hue, dimmer, all those different things can be set as well. Now, the one I use the most is right here, our sound levels. You click that icon there, you know, you're looking at sound. Here we have the fader. That'll let me choose whether I want my music to go more to the front, more to the back, you know, more to the left, more to the right. You can set it whatever way you want. So that's your balance. Then you've got your graphical equalizer. It's got several presets, a couple of customs. We got vocal, we got flat, we got natural, powerful, super bass, I guess S-bass, I think it means super bass, and 2 customs. And these sliders can be moved. You know, you can adjust them up and down, whatever you want. So you know the different frequencies. You can modify that as you see fit. Like I said, whenever you're in one of these menus, all you do is hit the back button or the arrow, and that takes you back to where you were previously. Or you can click the X and close out if you're on a screen you want to close out of. There's a loudness, which is on and off. Essentially, it boosts the loudness a bit. You got your subwoofer, which right now is on. I can actually change the phase, the level, and the frequency on that, or I can turn it off. I do believe this arrow here will take us right back to where we were, as I mentioned a while ago. So that was the subwoofer, bass booster. Actually, there's not a sub menu for that, but you do have the options to move it up, move it down. I've got it on +4. I'll put it back to 0 where I had it. You've got high pass filter. Now, I'm not really familiar with high pass filters, exactly what that is. I think that trims off the high frequencies, but I'm not sure. We have different hertz in there, 80 hertz,
80 as high as it goes. It looks like, actually I'm not touching it yet. There we go. 80, 100, 125. I'm sure a lot of you guys out there know about sound systems, know a lot about sound systems, could probably tell me exactly what that does. I have it off. Maybe that's not the optimal position for it. Looks like it might have one more option in the menu. A source level adjuster. That's grayed out. Well, I'm not even sure what that is. So yeah, so that's our graphic equalizer, that's our loudness, our subwoofer, bass, high pass filters, all that stuff is there. Then we have a settings menu. So here we could set, like we had a while ago, I said rear speaker full, pre-out, system language, keyboard, Everscroll, Bluetooth memory, clear. So I got to check out this Bluetooth. It does say Bluetooth, it does have it. I'm surprised about that because I don't think I've discovered that there was a Bluetooth on this and how to hook it up yet. But anyway, without further ado, we'll ignore that. Now you can turn the system completely, or you can turn the system off like that. You still see your screen, you just don't see the other stuff. You hit the home button, it comes back, and this will completely turn the display off. So now the display is off. So you hit this button if you want to bring the display back. Kaboom. So now I'm going to hook up my phone if it's not dead. I have one phone that I specifically, my older iPhone that I put away because I got a new one. I usually use that iPhone specifically for this system. So I'm going to see if I can find out where I put that. It might be right in my console here. I'll double check. And then I want to show you how I plug it in and see what it gives us in terms of options that we didn't have prior to plugging it in.